Hello, we are here for one more lesson of this T-Flex CAD training course, and the topic for today will be the sheet metal operations. These commands of sheet metal facilitate the modeling of parts made of forming sheet metal. There are a couple of, I think, quite easy functions and some parameters to define what is possible to do in terms of sheet metal. The first thing to do in terms of sheet metal, and you can find the group of commands for sheet metal inside 3D model menu, and then group special, this middle icon. We have all the functions here. So the first thing to do is to set the defaults, and there are a couple of functions like material thickness, bend radius, bend width, the neutral factor from where it's taken, or to consider this position in the fiber, or from the table, and we have a table here that we can load or save or whatever. Okay. We have also these parameters for the bending and the unbending, and for checking intersections. And besides, we have also some bend parameters like the bend position, where it is considered from the start, from the end, from the center, from an external or internal dimensions, where the length it is measured from the neutral layer or from other places, and parameters for the reliefs and the shapes of those reliefs. Okay, and a couple of more things. So the idea now it is we can start with a profile, and this profile will create a sheet metal part. Okay, so what I will do it is first to create a profile. So draw in work plan, you know this already. So simply create a simple profile, and then on this side 50. Okay, and now some graphical lines, and that's it. Okay, we have a profile. Now instead of creating extrusion and the normal the normal commands for creating solids, I go there and do this create part, because the sheet metal part is different from a normal solid. So I can choose my profile, and I have some defaults already, like the thickness. It's already considered as 4, which was the default. I can change all of this for sure, because I have in my parameters also the options open. So I can do this symmetric or all in one direction, and I can do this also as the sheet bound, which is this flat part, or I can do a different thing, which is sheet cross section, and do something like this. Okay, I have these two options creating the part. Not this one, sorry. So I will use what I consider the standard one, creating a flat part. And in this flat part, now I will create options. So now what we have to do is the bending. In the bending, there are a couple of options. The first thing I will create it is to choose my edge, and by default already you grab these options here and insert them in my operation. I can change what I want, okay, the radius, the distance, the angles For example, if I don't want 90 degrees, I want 45. So he will assume that. So everything it is open to be defined. And I can change from doing a bend, attach flange, a cut and bend, or a hem. And these correspond to these things here. So normal bend. The radius again, it grabs some defaults, but I can change them here. Okay, whatever I want, and what I've inserted is automatically updated. So you see the angle. So I don't want 45, I want 60. And I have a lot of things that I can define. So simply now it made a mistake. We will start again. So 60, I think it was, and I've changed the radius for 5, I'm not sure. So let us create a part, okay? And it will work something like this. We can do a couple of more things. I will leave these in terms of standard now. Standard mode. Because we can attach to this, and we have a lot of parameters, the bend position, because we are saying the length it is 100, so I can change this from the start, which was my default, from the end, and when I change these parameters, the position of the bend changes also. Okay, and I have other options. I can introduce an offset also if I say, for example, 20, so it will extend something also. Then I can create some offsets. For example, let us say 10 on this side, and if you see, I get these inner cuts, and for example 30 on the other side, something like this. Let us say a little bigger. Okay, and I can create the reliefs with some shapes. Let us do this round or square, they are more visible. Round. Then I can say some parameters also for these bend reliefs. So 5 on the depth and 3 on the width. And I have also flange cuttings if it is the case, and the corner reliefs. So I have a lot of things. So let us create this, and as you can see, when created this shape, this bend, create these reliefs that were round with some values. In any given moment I can edit my part and open the parameters, and all the parameters are here. So if I say, for example, it's not 5 but 8, and this is not 3 but 5, these reliefs will change. Okay, they are bigger. So in any given moment I can work on this. I can make also a different thing, which is I can open my work plan. I can create a line. Let us say, for example, something like this. Confirm, and I can do a bend through this line, because instead of mentioning an edge that the part already has, I can introduce this factor here. So I can choose select a line, okay, and I have a bend. I'm not controlling the dimensions and whatever it's doing, but I can introduce this kind of bend. I can do also a different thing, because in this same work plan I can create, for example, this kind of shape or another kind of shape, and I can do also a bend. In this particular case, not correct. Let's do it again. So let us create create a 3D profile. So some graphical lines. And 3D profile, okay, it's here. So let us do a bend from this guy, and we can create a cut also. Very easy and very interesting. We can leave this. So there are a lot of things we can do about this. We can work around also, this is the bend function, and we can do the unbend. The unbend, it is interesting because we can do the unbend of the complete solid. This particular case, for some reason, okay, we have lateral faces that are not possible. Let us move a little back. Trying to, okay, let us do a different bend, similar to the one we had with this line. Okay, it is enough for the purpose. So bend through this line, and okay, it's easy. Now doing the unbend, so I can choose from the complete solid, and it will unbend everything like this, or I can simply do the unbend for one of the operations. So I can say this one, and it only unbend one part of my solid. I have a function also called it the reband, and basically acts on the same way. So it will recreate the solid. Then we have some nice functions also. Let us move back a little, okay? Still on the bend side, we have other functions as we've saw. We can introduce this cut and bend, which is basically the same, or we can introduce this hem. And the hem has a lot of shapes. For example, we can say, let us try to introduce something. I hope in this particular side it's not an issue. I can introduce with the same parameters a hem type which is closed, which is opened, teardrop like this one, rolled, S-shaped, okay, like this, or double. Okay, let us confirm, and we can do this. This is the same principle, sorry, because if I do the unbend selecting the complete solid, it will open completely also. We have also some other nice features like attaching a flange. And attaching a flange, if we create a couple of nodes, for example, let us assume a couple of nodes like this, and I will create now a 3D profile, a 3D path through this guy, not a spline but a polyline in here and in here, and confirm. And I can also create a bend, this time attaching a flange, and this edge, and I want to choose this flange guide. Okay, I have the radius that I'm saying that is the default, but I can do easily this and apply this concept to other places. So it is also a very interesting idea. Let us move back a little. And finally, we have also a very interesting feature using the library of features that the program already has. So using the same principle that as before, if I do, for example, a line, doesn't matter the shape, and I go to these functions, I have something called the forming feature, and the forming feature allows me to choose a profile and choosing a shape from all these ones. Okay, we have a lot of them. Let us say a louver, and I can define parameters for my louver. Simply do this and the louver, it is done. So it is a very easy and nice way to create these kinds of shapes. Okay, so for sure again we have all the possibilities, the unbend, as you know already, for all of this. Probably it will give error in this particular case, or no, not in this particular case. So there are a lot of interesting functions for these sheet metal parts and operations. There are a couple of more details about these topics, but if you consult also our theoretical side, you can see in greater detail some of the missing tiny explanations that were not mentioned in this video. Anyway, for any support you may need, you can contact us.